Yuta Akotsu, I was not familiar with your game. After the recent spoilers of JJK dropping today, I figured now I should talk about the current state of the manga and where it seems like it's headed. Yuta has just shown off not only what his domain expansion can do, which seemingly allows him to use any technique that he's copied, but we see at the end of the chapter, Itadori is there in the domain prepared to jump Sukuna with Yuta and Rika. This is not only going to set up the greatest jump Kaizen yet, but it seems like the manga may or may not be ending soon. But I'm not gonna lie, I was wrong about Yuta Akotsu, and today y'all gonna hear my opinion on what I currently think about Yuta. So with this new chapter, a lot of people are now saying Yuta beat the fraud allegations, which I will admit he did. And now everyone is saying he's the second coming of Gojo, and oh, he's fighting true form Sukuna, he's stronger than Gojo. I've unironically seen that, and I would just like to address that right now. Before anyone goes saying Gojo is weaker than Yuta or their relative, literally the same Yuta and Akari both stood back for a reason and were aware that they'd only get in Gojo's way. Unless Yuta got some amp after fighting Kenjaku, which I don't think you could prove, Gojo at full power would still be stronger than Yuta at full power, and Yuta could never get past Infinity and Unlimited Void anyway, and would probably just get boxed by Gojo. I don't think after this chapter bro is Gojo level, but what I do believe is that he's definitely surpassed characters like Toji, Kashimo, and depending on how their fights go or what happens later on in the arc, Hakari and Maki. Now I mentioned Toji and Kashimo as they were two characters who I did imply before in past videos that they could beat Yuta, which I technically am not wrong about. You see, at the time of making those videos, Shinjuku Shodan just kind of started and Yuta didn't really get to show off what he learned after training intensely for 1 month, which we do know for a fact made him a lot stronger since Ryu, a character he went high diff with, got folded by a suppressed 15-finger Sukuna. And Sukuna by this point not only has regained his 20-finger strength, but he even transforms into his high-end form, which is implied to be Sukuna at his peak. He should be obviously weakened, but I would be lying if I said Kashimo and Toji and maybe Maki, depending on where she's at, are still relative to Yuta. Out of any character in the verse, Akotsu is the only one to damage high-end era Sukuna and actually keep him entertained. And as sad as it makes me, my GOAT Kashimo actually could never do this, and I hope, unlike my GOAT, Yuta doesn't just get comfortable for 2 chapters and then die. Now I haven't talked too much about Hakari, so now I'll get into that. Firstly, if you think Hakari is mega struggling with Orame, I honestly don't think you're reading the same manga as me. Hakari is notorious for taking damage and using his regeneration along with his domain to just outluck and stall his opponent. Orame as well is in an advantageous position, and Hakari still seems like he's playing with his food. Now I can't say due to Hakari's lack of feats, Yuta is definitely stronger than Hakari, but personally I'm gonna wait until Hakari actually finishes his fight with Orame before saying that Hakari has actually been fully surpassed. But as of right now, yes, Yuta can definitely do a lot more damage than what Hakari has ever shown. We also don't know how fast Yuta's domain activation is, along with if Hakari on a roll could outlast Rika, which in this case, what can bro even do at that point? But I think currently, again, Yuta has better feats and by this point should be stronger. But to really get a full grasp on how big the gap is or if Hakari's luck is enough, that really all depends on how these next few chapters go. So I'm just gonna wait. But if you want to get my personal opinion, I think with the likes of Yuta's ability as well, it's probably going to be the key in bringing down Sukuna for real, as now he's wide open to attacks. His thin icebreaker just damages Sukuna despite him casting Hollow Wicker Basket, which is crazy. And now you got Rika and Yuji, both high level officers within the Jump Kaizen staff, tagging along with Yuta. The stocks are at an all-time high, and mind you, before this, he deals the finishing blow against Kenjaku. Bro killed the main villain and is now helping the MC fight the main villain. I'm not gonna lie guys, I was wrong about Yuta. He might be cold. Seriously though, Yuta grew a lot more powerful and was prepared to deal with far stronger threats, which is why he massively clipped his old self, who a month prior probably would have gotten folded by 15-finger Sukuna. So going from that to now damaging a prime Sukuna is pretty ridiculous, and it should speak to how Yuta really changed. Now, I'm not gonna just say I was fully wrong about Yuta versus Kashimo, as technically in the calling games, Kashimo was stronger, but I will revisit this matchup for sure and talk about the Shinjuku Shodown versions of the character. And if you would like that, let me know down in the comments. But with that being said, let me know as well what your predictions are for next chapter. Is Yuta gonna be cooked? Is Yuta gonna be top 1? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.